Hi everyone, I welcome you back to this channel Technical Drawing Masterclass. In today's video, we are going to look at still another video about the roof frame structure. So in my last video, still I was looking at the roof frame structure, but the roof was kind of complex and that made the video too long. But in this video, I came up with a simple structure whereby it's from this that we are going to generate the roof frame. So it's not going to be too complex like it is in the other video. So if you haven't watched the other video, I'm going to leave a link in the description box. So stick with me until the end of this video. You get to know all what it needs to draw a roof frame structure. So let's get started. So this is a one-bedroomed house with a living room, a bedroom, and a WC. So I'm going to give my roof an offset of 600. So it's from this edge of the external walls that I'll offset another line. So I'll highlight that line, then I'll offset it at a distance of 600. Then I'll do the same thing at this wall. Then I'll do the same thing here, and also at that point. So after that, I'll click at this line, then I'll hover my cursor at this blue dot, then I'll click stretch. Then I'll do the same thing here. Okay, so when you're done, I'll trim off these lines that I've protruded, because I no longer need them. Okay, so after that, I'll highlight each and everything, then I'll click at the copy command, then from this point I'll move it right here. Then after that, I'll try to do away with these tags. Okay, then after that, I'll highlight these ones, these external walls and the internal walls. Then I'll change the lines to the dotted ones or the dashed ones. Yeah. So I'll press escape. Then after that, I'll highlight this one, this line. Then for it, I'll make it continuous. So after that, I'll click at the line command, then I'll select roof. Where is it? It's right here. Then I'll click at polar tracking command, then I'll draw this line of any length, but it should be at an angle of 45. Then also I'll highlight this same line, then I'll click at the copy command, then I'll click at it and I'll move it right here. Then still I'll click at the line command, I'll click at this point, then I'll draw another line of any length, but should be at an angle of 45 still. So I'll highlight it, then I'll click at the copy command. From that point I'll copy it to this other point, then I'll draw a line from this point of intersection up to that point. So you find that I'll highlight those lines, then I'll click at the trim command, then I'll trim off these lines that are protruding out. So when you're done, these lines that I've drawn, they are going to give us the alignment of the roof ridge board and the hipped rafters. Yeah, so it's from these ridge boards and the roof rafter, like the hip rafters. It's from those two members that we are going to generate the common rafters, yeah, and the jack rafters. So let's continue. So there's something I want to show you. So for the rafters, remember that the rafter, it's of sizes 50 by 100. That's the standard size of a rafter. So you find that this top surface is of dimensions 50, then it's of height 100. Yeah, so for the roof framing plan, we are going to be looking at the top surface, so we won't be seeing this height of 100. So I'll delete this one because I just wanted to use it as an illustration to make you understand what I'm going to do. So I'll draw a square of dimensions 50 by 50, then I'll highlight it, then I'll click at the move command, this one right here, then I'll click at its center, then I'll move it at this point right here. Okay, so I'll highlight it, then I'll click I'll hover my cursor at that blue, let me call it a dot, then AutoCAD will show me options here. There is stretch, add vertex, then convert to arch, but for me I'll select stretch. So I'll stretch it up to this point, then this one also I'll stretch it up to that point. Okay, so maybe let me first offset the distance of the fascia board. I mostly use 9 millimeters. Okay, so I'll highlight all these lines, then I'll click at the trim command, and I trim off all these lines that are protruding out. So we are done with our fascia board. So I'll highlight this ridge board, then I'll stretch it in up to that point. Then also I'll do the same thing right there. So I'll press escape. Then after that, still I'll click at the rectangle command. Then I'll draw a square of 50 by 50. Then I'll highlight it. So I'll rotate it at an angle of 45. Still I'll highlight it. Then I'll click at the move command at its center. So I'll click, then I'll move it up to this point. So after that, I'll click at it. Then I select stretch. Then I'll stretch it up to that point right there. So I'll click at this point, yeah. Then I'll click at stretch vertex. So I'll stretch it up to that point. Then I'll do the same thing up to that point. Then I'll click at this blue dot. Then I'll click at add vertex. Okay. So after that, I want to mirror this hip rafter this side. So what I'll do is I'll click at the mirror command. Then I'll click at this point. Then I'll just transfer my cursor up to this other end. So I'll click no, because I need this original copy and the duplicate copy. So after that, I'll highlight the ridge board. Then I'll trim off this. Okay. Then I'm going to do the same thing this side, but then you find that I'm going to mirror these hip rafters this side. So what I'll do, I'll highlight them. Then I'll click on the mirror command. So at the midpoint of the ridge board, it's where I'll click. Then I'll click no. So let's just put them proper. It's like I didn't click at the middle point of the ridge board. They're supposed to be right there. And also this one is supposed to be right there. Okay, so you find that we have something good. So after that, I'm going to put the jack rafters and the common rafters. Yeah. So before we proceed, if you haven't liked the video, or if you haven't hit that subscribe button, please you can do so, and stick with me until the end of this video, and I show you exactly how you can come up with the roof frame structure. So let's continue. So at this point, I'll click at this line. Then I'll select stretch. Then I'll stretch this line up to this point. Then I'll do the same thing right here. So I'll click at the offset command. Then I'll click at that line. So I'll offset it at a distance of 600. Then I'll do the same thing this side. So after that, I'll use the rectangle command. Still, I'll draw a square of 50 by 50. Then I'll click at the move command. Then I'll click at it. Then I'll move it up to this point. Then I'll stretch it out up to that point. So I'll click at the copy command. Then I'll just copy it at these different points. Yeah. So after that, I'll click at this hip jack rafter. Then I'll just stretch it in up to this point. This is okay. Then I'll do the same thing here. I'll stretch it in up to that point right there. Okay. So I'll press escape. Let me first try to position this text. In a way that it won't interfere with my drawing. So after that, I'll highlight this hip rafter and also this hip rafter. Then I'll click at the trim command. I'll trim off those parts of the jack rafters. And something to note is a jack rafter is a member of the roof frame. It's a member of the roof frame that connects the hip rafter to the fascia board. Yeah. So after that, I'm going to mirror these two jack rafters this side. So I'll highlight them. So I'll click at the mirror command. Then I'll click at that point up to, I'll stretch out my cursor up to that point right there. Then I'll click no. So you find that I've mirrored these two jack rafters to this side. So next I'm going to do the same thing here. So I'll highlight these two members. Then I'll click at the mirror command. Then at this point, I'll stretch out my cursor up to that point. Then I'll click no. So you find that I have the same members this side. So after that, I'm going to do the same thing this side. Yeah. So still, I'll click at the rectangle command. Then I'll draw a square of dimensions 50. Press the tab key. Then still you put in 50. So you highlight that square and then you move it up to that point. Still highlight it, then stretch it out up to that point. Then click at the copy command. Then move it up to this point. Then up to that point and also up to that point. So highlight this line, I mean that jack rafter, then stretch it out up to that point. Then also stretch out this jack rafter up to that point. Okay, so highlight this hip rafter, then also that hip rafter, then click at the trim command, then trim off those protruding parts of the hip rafters, I mean the jack rafters. So when you're done, you press the escape key at the keyboard, then highlight those two the jack rafters, then click at the mirror command, then do the same thing that we did this side. I'll click now. So you find that we are done with putting the jack rafters this side and this side, this side and this side. So what we are remaining with is to put the common rafters. The common rafters majorly connect the ridge board to the fascia board. Yeah. So stick with me until the end of this video, and I show you how you can put the common rafters. So I'll click at the line command. Then at this point, I'll draw a line up to that point. Then also, I'll draw another line from that point up to that point. Then I'll stretch it out up to that point right there. Then maybe I'll just copy it up to that point. So I'll highlight it, then I'll offset it at a distance of 600. Then I'll do the same thing right here. So I'll highlight this line, then I'll stretch it out up to this point right here. Okay, so still I'll click at the rectangle command. Then after that, I'll put in 50 by 50. Then I'll click at the move command and I'll move it up to this point right here. Still I'll click at it, then I'll stretch it out up to that point. Then I'll click at the copy command. Then at this point, I'll copy that common rafter to these different points. Lastly, at this point. So I'll highlight them. Then I'll just mirror them to this other side of the roof. Then I'll hit no. So after that, and I'll press escape. Then right here, I'll highlight these two. Then I'll click at the trim command. Then I'll trim off first this part, then also that one. Then I'll do the same thing this side, also this side. And I'll press escape. Let me try to adjust the position of this text. Then after that, I'll highlight the fascia board, then I'll put it under roof. So after that, we are done with putting the common rafters, the hip rafters, the jack rafters. So it's time to label our drawing. So before that, I'm going to reduce the transparency of the external walls and the internal walls. So I'll click at one of the lines at the external walls, then I right click, I select similar, then at this point here I'll click at this arrow, then from this box I'll put in 60, then I press escape. So you find that the transparency of both the external walls and the internal walls have reduced. So I'll do the same thing for the windows. I'll give it a transparency of still let me give it 50. So after that, we are going to name our drawing. So we are going to name our drawing. So I'll select my layer for text, sorry. Then I'll click at the reader command. Then I'll name this one as it is 225 times 9. Fascia board. So there is something I want to show you here. If I want to name these common rafters, I usually do it like this. I create this 0, then I give it a solid hatch, then I'll simply copy it to these common rafters. Let me delete this one. Yeah. So after that, I join them with a line up to that point. Then after that, I use my leader command. Then I'll put in 100 by 50 millimeters. Common rafters. Okay, so after that, I'll do the same thing right here. Then this one I'll name it as 50. This is 100 by 50 millimeters. Jack rafters. Then still I'll click at the leader command. Then I'll copy this 0 at this point, at this other hipped rafter. Then I'll connect them with a line. It's like that 0 wasn't in line with this 0, so still I'll click at the copy command. Then I'll use the leader command. Then at that point I'll put in 100 by 50 millimeters hip rafters. Then I'll try to move this one right there. So what else have I not named? So after that, you highlight this line and also this line, that line, and that line. Then you click at the trim command. Then you'll do away with those horizontal lines. So you find that this is it, yeah, for the roof frame structure. So if you have really found something helpful and it has added value to you, please, you can share this kind of content to your friends and relatives that you feel like they're in need of this kind of content. And also you can support this channel by hitting the subscribing button. Then also, if you haven't understood during the course of my illustration, you can always rewatch the video such that you fully understand the steps that I followed up to come up with this. Thanks for watching. We'll meet next time.